Season 19, serial number 4, story number 119 overall. It is, of course, The Visitation.
My grandmother doesn't give
Who's
me a lot of
visiting?
visitation.
I thought you were the one who was meant to visit her.
Is that how it works in prison?
Grandma?
Me! It's fine.
What did Grandma do?
I'm in prison. It's fine. It's fine. Moving on.
Granny, no!
Hey, Gamp, we see a fancy man in fancy clothes. He's loading a gun.
I like those.
And people walk around. Would you like to know what else?
What?
So there's a woman and she looks outside and she sees some fireworks going off and she's like, "Oh, Papa, have you seen?" And Papa is asleep and cranky. And Liz is like, "Oh my God, the sky, no wait, it's gone." And he doesn't want the strange lights. He wants to stay drunk because that means it's bad. Cut to a broken thing out in the woods. Dad is chill and has everyone is like, "Haha, it's actually gout," even though the candles are all wiggly because he's cold. And so he's gonna drink even more, and Son goes to bed with his guns. There's some creatures in the house, though, I guess, and Son has a whole lot of guns, and too bad the help is attacked by the monster instead with a laser. Son shows up, shoots at it, and runs. Dad is even here with guns, shoots at it so hard it cries. Meanwhile, daughter is scared and things are breaking into the room, and now she has a gun. Meanwhile, a robot armored thing comes into the room, cut to the house being entirely empty. And then back to the TARDIS, and we're yelling at Math Kid how he never should have done that thing in the previous episode, and he's being a brat. Princess is also here and like, "Wow, you're just a brat. Wait, where's Tegan?" Never mind. There's a fault in the TARDIS. We should probably repair that sometime. Tegan, meanwhile, is still trying to get ready for work and is only just kind of realizing what happened to her, and she's unnerved by it and wants to get back to her job, and like, we have a lesbian moment. It's great. Anyway, guess what? We're not at the airport, and the monitor is showing all, like, the grass and stuff because we're 300 years early. And Tegan is super tired of this shit, and calls the doctor a broken clock. Swoop! Princess thinks that this is because Tegan doesn't want to leave, and the doctor goes out to apologize, and she apologizes back. And they're like, "Wow, it smells bad here. There's sulfur." And then we notice some men burning some stuff, and one man is in a tree, and signals to the other men. We also notice more elements in the sulfur. It's like gunpowder. We also see the men coming for them. That's not good. They're surrounded. That's bad. Time to have a fight and then run. Everyone's got super lost, and Math has lost his homing device, so we keep running. Math also twists his ankle, and another man shows up with guns and a feather hat who offers to help. So here, we are in this barn, and then we ask about the other men, and apparently there's a plague. Then this guy was a thespian, apparently, and his name is Dick. Well, it's Richard, but it's Dick. And he's just excited to talk to people. We also talk about the comet a while back and think about where the plague came from. And the doctor then asks about Dick's necklace, and he's like, "I just found it." And the princess goes, "It's not from here, it's alien. Let's go look at the
pearl
loft."
Necklace.
Yes. And the necklace is an alien bracelet. Yes, he loves giving pearl necklaces, damn. Congratulations, you made the joke.
It's his pearl necklace.
Ah, got it. Okay. So, apparently they find some more stuff here. Cue Princess finding stuff. Who owns the barn? And Dick is like, "Follow me." And the rogues are watching the doctor from afar, by the way, and the doctor is going to talk to this noble. And a man drives a carriage past everyone. That guy's the miller. He's a dick. But he's not Dick. He's just a dick. The doctor and princess are going to look around for a while. Everyone else waits at the door. And there's nobody at home, even though, like, a window moved. So let's climb inside that window. The doctor wants to find out about the aliens and goes, "Anyone home?" And he also thinks they're desperate, possibly dangerous, so we should probably take them home. The weapons in the closet are missing, and some gunpowder on the floor, and a power pack. That's weird. We also find damage from an energy beam. Notice there's a wall where it shouldn't be. And we go and open the front door, and wow, we're letting everybody in. Then, "Hey, why don't you come look at this weird wall that the doctor was talking about?" And then they get back to the wall, and the doctor's gone. And a bejazzled hand locks them in the room.
They're locked in the room. So the opening sequence of this one has them following on directly from the previous episode, which was a bit weird because the production block meant that episode was filmed after this one, so they kind of just had to act out their characters' responses just by reading the script. Because they hadn't filmed it yet, so it was like, we're reacting to something that has already happened, but we haven't done it yet, so we don't really know what it is. Which was a little bit hard for them, but they got there in the end. Plus, thankfully, it wasn't that hard. Eric Sayward, who wrote this, also was a script editor for the era. He wrote this before he became the script editor, though, and it was accepted like last season. So it's give it a pass. Like, it's not a case of script editors allowing their own work over other writers. Thankfully, he also has a lot of contributions that'll come up in a bit. He has a love for certain things in the series and an absolute disdain for others. But he came up with the name Terreptil by combining the words territorial reptiles, which, as you can imagine, incredibly creative name. Fucking fantastic there. He also hated Michael Robbins' performance as Richard Mace, Dick, largely because he kept changing his lines and wouldn't say what was written. Like, would change them on the fly, which it seems fair because he also then turned around and said that he hated working on the story as well, which is a shame because I think he's kind of fun in this. He gets a bit dull in points, but I feel the character in there is exciting. Peter Davison also has said that this is his favorite serial that he recorded. And Matthew Waterhouse, who played Adric, recalled that Davison entered the rehearsal room shaking the script with excitement because he was in love with the script. Which is funny because he was late for the first rehearsals because his family cat had supposedly taken a live mole into the house. And he had to catch the cat, and set the mole free before he could go to work. But anyway, what happens in the next part, dude?
Well, the doctor shows back up, trying to go through the wall, and he found the door supposedly because it's an energy barrier. Dick wants to sell the wall for money, and everybody just walks through it. The air down here isn't nearly as nice, but someone probably needs to breathe this, and Dick wants wine. Oh, we found the door. Too bad someone in a cape is coming through the wall. Dick found the wine, and the doctor has found an egg thing. It's kind of alien-esque. It's something with a regulator. Also, there's some rats in cages, and there's this thing that looks horrid. The white cape dude walks into the room. He kind of looks like shit, death, whatever. We finally notice and attempt to shoot him. Doesn't work. Math and Tegan get lasered. Everybody runs. The doctor's playing with the eggy thingy, and everybody runs for it. He tries to warn them about the beam making a fire, and then he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm leaving. And he's like, that thing was an android. And we drag Dick back downstairs to help, and he's like, I don't wanna. In which Tegan is carried into another fake wall room. We explain what the bracelet is, and Dick just doesn't really get it. And he's also talking about space and shit, and he doesn't get it. Math and Tegan are in bed together, and the android is watching them, asking who the doctor is. Actually, it's not the android. It's like a dinosaur reptile thingy. The doctor is going to go make a vibration gun. Too bad they need to be super close range for that. And the dinosaur asks about the TARDIS, and we tell him about it, I guess. And we're talking about how they're vital crew members. And a call comes in from outside, and we see the doctor and Dick and Princess leaving them behind. And he's like, well, you're not important. Also, Dick is now leaving them on their own. So there's that, but he keeps following them as well. We tell him to stay away from people with that bracelet, and we continue on our ways toward the TARDIS. Wait, no, there's something in the distance. Fish dinosaurs commanding the villagers to search for the TARDIS and the doctor, and the doctor walks their way back and finds the alien ship, and we go inside. We figure out that it's basically a lifeboat, and it's partially underground, which is why it's so big on the inside. And they tell Dick, basically, you can trust us. But not the ship owners, Dick. Not them. They're dicks, but not Dick. Anyway, Android is learning math.
They're dicks, but not Dick.
Yeah. Android is leading Math and Tegan to prison, and the doctor is fucking around the spaceship, and he mentions the pteroleptils and androids and worrying about numbers, and Dick is like, okay, I guess I'm coming with you, haha. Let's go together. Too bad we see the villagers outside. Dinosaur, meanwhile, is working on his newest blue meth strain. And they tell the doctor they need him to come with him because Dick was ready to shoot them, but he's like, haha, my guns are unloaded. I'm just going to go back in the ship. Anyway, they want the doctor to come with him, and he's like, nah, and runs back inside and locks himself in. So we need to escape and use the escape hatch, which is basically a bomb that blows off a wall. Tegan, by the way, has noticed a window above their prison door and goes, okay, I'll rip this out and we'll go through this. Android is carrying stuff around for the meth lab, and she's like, oh, that's scary. Dinosaur learns about the doctor being in his craft, by the way, and tells them to only follow him now, instead of capturing him and killing him, I guess. Cut to everyone walking in the woods, Dick being a tired piece of shit. He's like, I'm not going anywhere without a horse, so let's go get him a horse. The doctor's like, okay, let's go. We saw the miller with the horse, so let's go talk to him. And at his house, no one seems to be there. Good thing we found a donkey. Meanwhile, Tegan and Math have escaped their room, and the android is sent after them. Also, the miller was collecting rats for some reason. He also has a bracelet on him, so yeah, no getting into this horse. We can't talk to him. Math jumps out a window. Tegan surrenders to the android, and Dick is like, ooh, look, an ass. I love ass. Anyway, meanwhile, the villagers come in and capture the two of them and call them plague boys. Time for execution. You got the plague, boys. You're gonna die.
Gonna get the plague. Oh, Lord. So, in that cliffhanger, you see the doctor sort of says, not again. It's kind of a gag because it's the exact same cliffhanger that they used in 4 to Doomsday, which was filmed, I believe, just before this one. Because, here, I'll give you the production block of when these were all filmed. So, from last season to this season, it was The Leisure Hive, then State of Decay, Meglos, Full Circle, Warrior's Gate, Keeper of Traken, Logopolis, makes sense, and then we have the new Doctor, and the broadcast order is Castrovalva, 4 to Doomsday, Kinder, Visitation. But the production schedule was 4 to Doomsday, Visitation, Kinder, Castrovalva. So everything's completely out of order, so they notice, like, hang on, this is the exact same cliffhanger as that episode we just filmed. It's like, let's put in a little gag there, which is why it's in there, and why it kind of seems weird, because it's like, what do you mean, not again? Like, it's not been a while since you've been beaten up by that. Also, another one, there was kind of a cut in the first episode, when the Doctor beats up a posse of villagers. He was seen to inadvertently tread on the chest of one of them, and they thought it kind of gave the wrong impression. Like, it's okay for the Doctor to, like, throw them over his shoulder and stop them from attacking, but, like, putting his foot on them sort of felt a little bit too dominant and, evil for him, I guess? I don't know, I don't fully understand their reasoning. Plus, also, the actor in the Pterodactyl, costume was... the Pteroleptals costume, sorry. Was so hot in that costume, that his socks changed color from just the heat, the moisture, and the sweat that was constantly running, which makes sense. Those costumes in the 80s were not built well for, they were not built for comfort. They were built for cheapness. But anyway, what happened in the next part, dear?
Well, thankfully, someone comes in and goes, they're wanted vandals, keep them alive. There's also a reward, so don't kill them. Lock them up. Also, I have a bracelet, so that's weird. That's weird. Why did he change his mind? Princess is just redecorating their lesbian room, and Tegan is getting a bracelet put on. So, okay, bring the Doctor to the house, I guess, and also the Princess is repairing the TARDIS or building that thing that we talked about, to which she then pushes it into her bedroom and takes a break. Tegan is going to be used to pack some meth with the rest of the meth, and they're like, don't drop it, it'll kill you. The TARDIS has a knocking at it, and Princess answers it, and it's Math, and he's sad the Doctor isn't here, because he's a brat, and he's supposed to be a child. The Doctor is having trouble with the situation, Dick is being emo, and we need to get their bracelets off the headman. So we do an attack, get his bracelet off, and get the bracelet off the other dude, who I think is the Trapper, and then they fall asleep. go get the doctor, Mr. Android, we say, and then we see the headman has woken up and he talks about voices in his head. They're like, oh, that's not good. They think it's all the plague and witchcraft, so that's not good either. Dick is worried they're in trouble, but he finds a knife in that one dude's boot, and he's like, I'm gonna go through this wood right here with this knife. Meanwhile, Tegan is making the thing, and it's not really portable, and Math is like, wait, I want to look for the doctor, and she's like, no. And the dinosaurs apparently are having a working thing, and it's headed for London soon. The villagers are currently headed for the TARDIS and decide to go tell everyone about it. Math just kind of doesn't see this happening, by the way. Tegan is sorting the meth as carefully as possible, and the doctor has been able to get out because the android broke through. So they're captured. That's not great. The villagers are all scared, and yeah. The doctor is being led back to the main house, and we see Tegan. That's not good, and we try to tell her how to break out of it, but she kind of just goes, meh. But now we should go see that dinosaur. Dick is scared to death of the dinosaur, and he just goes, hey, bro, how are you? The doctor's like, I did intend to help you. And he's like, wait, what? No, you're crazy. I'm a fucking prisoner. I don't want to go back home. I also don't want to live on some rock. I also don't want to be without my ship. And he's like, all right, well, you fucked up your own ship, so you're not taking mine. Get fucked, bro. And he's like, well, there's 3 of us on this planet, and we'll take over the planet. We go talk to Dick for a second. We call him a primitive, and he acts all prideful, and he's like, ugh, I can't believe this. So he just goes, you know what, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, actually, let's put a bracelet on you. Math is super upset that he can't do anything at all. Princess is like, you're a fucking idiot for wanting to leave, but he leaves anyway. And of course, he is then captured instantly. Princess thinks about going outside, but then she just doesn't. And the doctor's like, wait, I don't get a bracelet? And, he's like, no, your mind is too good for that. Like, what the fuck? You would just break out. We also talk to the miller and give him all the meth. Ooh. We give him all the meth to take to London and put on his cart. The doctor is trying to build something with all the things he has, like string and stuff. But then he's caught, and we laser the sonic screwdriver to death. Hey, by the way, look at our rats. We have fleas. They give the plague. This is how we're doing this. We have thousands of rats. We're gonna kill everyone, because they're all just stupid people. Primitive people. We try to talk to Tegan again when we get a second and get her to cover the cage instead of like, oh no. Tegan, why are you opening it? Tegan, stop. Stop. And then, yeah.
Tegan, no! So, common little question. Where the fuck does this episode come from? What is the point of this? It's a bit weird. So, not for the last time this season. What we're seeing here is, like, Doctor Who trying to reinvent its standards for the 80s. It's still trying to find its foothold in, like, what the 80s are going to be. In this case, it's an attempt to resurrect the pseudo-historical for the benefit of, like, the new generation. A story like The Time Warrior, which was the first Sontaran one, the one where Sontaran's back in time and he's messing with the old castles and shit, was sort of another prime example of, like, aliens fiddling about in history sort of type of plot. Sort of like it's a historical, but there's aliens. It is effectively just BBC costume drama with extra added monsters and robots, but this was not a good time for BBC costume drama. Since 1974, cinema had taught the audience to swashbuckle again. The Visitation isn't full of meaty period dialogue and theatre sort of set pieces. It's full of fights, escapes, and elaborate technological weapons. It's trying to stage itself as a motion picture extravaganza, and a cynic would say it's like, no wonder it sort of feels a bit shallow. Lynx's robot servant in The Time Warrior is basically just a suit of armor which serves a specific plot function, whereas the pteroleptal android in this is supposed to be like an exciting event in itself, even getting a dramatic showdown with Nyssa aboard the TARDIS. It seems like a small thing, but the title's kind of a dead giveaway. Like traditional Doctor Who, like early 70s or 60s would have called this something like Curse of the Pteroleptals. But The Visitation is the kind of name you'd expect from like a straight-to-video sci-fi movie that would have like flooded the markets in the days of early home VCR. It's also good time to talk about like the soap opera side of this season. As is a group of 4 on the TARDIS, they spend much of the screen time urgently shrieking at each other for no real reason. It's obviously isn't new, considering, you know, the program started with 4 back in 1963. But 4-person central cast in season 1 suggested a family, whereas this one is sort of like 80s family, because like the idea of the early 80s family television was sort of disintegrating, and also suddenly everyone aboard the TARDIS is young now instead of mostly adults, so it's like this is kind of figuring out where they're going to go. Tegan, Nissa, and Adric look much too young to be real soap opera stars, although it wouldn't be too long before, argumentative teenagers became like what people wanted to see on TV, with stuff like, Married with Kids and such. But yeah, it's a reinventing of the historical, and I will admit, I like historical Doctor Who's where there's like no aliens or anything, it's just they're caught up in a historical situation. But I also am very much a sucker for it's a historical, but there's aliens here. You gotta love it. Anyway, what happened in the final part, dear?
Well, the dinosaur electrocutes Dick, attacks their bracelets, or the Doctor electrocutes Dick. Sorry, Anyway,
Oh, come on, dude.
I'm trying. And their bracelets stopping both of them. Dinosaur is ready to send all the meth and jumps on the cart to send it out to London. He also wants to find the TARDIS, by the way. We pick the Doctor's handcuffs, free him. Off the dinosaur goes to London. The Millers headed back inside the building. Wait, actually, let's just pick the door lock. Wait, no, let's shoot it. Wait, no, actually, let's pick it. No, we're actually going to shoot it. And we miss, but we didn't miss because the door just opens. And Princess puts on her headphones and turns on her vibrator, and it works. So now we just have to move it and get it close to the android. We can't get into the room anymore where the Miller is, and we need to stack some boxes to get inside. Too bad the Miller makes his way outside after hearing some weird things, and confused by the boxes, makes a shot and misses. We need to find where they went, right? Well, London, right? We need to maybe find more information. They found some papers, but it's not like they can read them. And it's a good thing the Doctor has a control panel, so it's not like there's villagers anymore. Tegan's being a dick, and alright, let's all go back to the TARDIS. Princess sees them coming and opens up the TARDIS for him. Too bad Math is really far away, and she basically, gets attacked by the android because it was right beside the TARDIS. Math assaults the android, but he gets into the TARDIS, chases Princess deeper inside, and we turn on the vibrator, and we wait. And he goes to shoot at it, and it misses, and it doesn't do much. And then he falls apart, and he explodes. And everything is safe now. Whee! Math is okay too, I guess, and he just kind of walks in TARDIS, oh boy. Princess is quite the interesting android, isn't it? And we should check the TARDIS, find Tegan, whatever. Anyway, maybe we should move the TARDIS, but that might send us anywhere, and that wouldn't be good. And the Doctor and Tegan cannot get out of the house because every entrance has been sealed. And Math is like, we have to do something. And then Tegan and the Doctor hear the TARDIS noises, but it won't materialize for some reason. It's flashing in and out randomly, and the TARDIS is like, oh no. And the Doctor's like, oh no. Math is continuing to do shit and punches the console because he's supposed to be like the Doctor, which makes it work.
Oh.
So, into the TARDIS we go, and off, well, look, the android's dead. That's weird. Dick keeps talking about things that are impossible, and we're going to go after the dinosaurs, and we finally pinpoint where he is because he has electricity at this day and age.
Yay.
Located directly in London. It's more likely than you think.
Can I see it?
No. So now they're all together and breathing around a humidifier. The dinosaurs are trying to survive. And the Doctor has found the Miller's wagon, and he's like, all right, they're in this bakery. Let's go inside. It's probably a trap. And the dinosaurs are preparing their trap. Well, we have a standoff, right? We have to put away our guns. Good thing no one saw the 2 dinosaurs behind the door that weren't seen. And so no one gets shot. One person gets slapped. And we also start a fire. Too bad the gun they use caught on fire and is apparently going to explode. All the dinosaurs are laying on the ground, so we can't really help them or anything. And we put all the plague stuff into the flames. And everything explodes into a giant fire. So everyone jumps into the TARDIS while Dick is given the control panel, and we swoosh off. And we're like, wait, shouldn't we put out that fire? And the Doctor's like, lol. And then they leave. They've started the Great Fire of London.
Yeah, the Doctor specifically says, I get a feeling this fire is meant to take its course.
Yeah.
And then it zooms in on Pudding Lane, the well-known origin point for the Great Fire of London. Oh ho 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 ho. Which is funny because back in a Fourth Doctor story, the Pyramids of Mars, the Doctor jokingly says that he was once blamed for the Great Fire of London, implying that he had nothing to do with it. Joke's on him because he did, he just hadn't done it yet. But it's also funny because the First Doctor, if you remember, also burnt down Rome. So it's like the Doctor's got a history with this.
Pretty much.
Real quick as well, the story was inspired by the work of a former girlfriend of Seward's. She had been studying the architecture which arose in the wake of the Great Fire of London, and she also observed that the black rats which carried the plague became virtually extinct within months of the Great Fire.
Ooh.
And Seward thought this would provide an effective science fiction hook for a story about social conditions in medieval England. Also, I feel it is important to note that this is the end of the sonic screwdriver.
For now.
It's kind of weird because it's been around since 1968, then they get rid of it here and it doesn't come back until the new show because John Nathan Turner was like, we need to get rid of it. I don't like it being a crutch that writers fall back on as like a MacGuffin, yeah. Originally, Eric Sayward's script contained an ending scene where the Doctor would simply just seek a replacement one from a room full of devices in the TARDIS. But J&T was like, no, let's just fucking... I don't want it to be a narrative crutch for them to constantly be like, oh, well, how can the Doctor do this and be stuck in this location when he could just get out with his sonic screwdriver? So I was like, we'll just get rid of the screwdriver. Fuck it. They've kind of... They never explain it in universe why he doesn't just get another one in the show. It's just like, it's just moving on from here and constant jokes about, man, I wish I had my sonic screwdriver again. They kind of make a point in a charity special to like have the Fifth Doctor be like, well, I just decided not to have it anymore. It's like, that's all they needed to do. They didn't need to just like pretend it doesn't happen at all. But oh well, that's the way it is. Sonic Screwdriver is gone now. Hope you liked it. Yeah,
fine.
It's fine. I feel like it was never really brought up in the Fourth Doctor's era that much at all. It's only really brought up like very sparingly anyway. But anyway, that's the Visitation. It is a story about the Great Fire of London, about plague, about dinosaur people. And yeah, it's a story that you've rated
5.
a 5. 5 for Fifth Doctor. Oh!
I mean,
I get it.
My biggest thing is like, Dick is a dick, and he's just kind of annoying to be around. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to just steal people's shit. Like,
but he's a coward as well.
He's also a coward, right? And he's a liar, and he's just kind of shitty to watch, but not in like a fun way. If this was a D&D campaign, I wouldn't want to play with this person, basically. I'm serious.
God, it isn't.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot of characters that fall into that, like, I just don't give a fuck about you sort of thing in this. Like, even the bad guys are kind of like, they kind of have, like, motivation, but also it's just kind of like, you really could have just done this anywhere. Like, he's literally offering to take you anywhere. It doesn't have to be here, but just because you want to, you're doing it. It's I don't know. Yeah,
it's a little bit flimsy on that point. It's like it doesn't take into account that like it kind of just implies that like they're the bad guys. That means they have to be evil.
Well,
it's like they didn't have to be.
Yeah, they really don't have to be. You could just be like, you know what? Actually, let's go somewhere else. I'll take you up on that offer. Let's go.
Yeah. That's that there is the Visitation. Next episode. I have 2 things for you, dear. I will let you guess the second word. First word is black.
Friday.
What is the second word? No. It is a thing.
Cat.
No. Think not fauna, but flora.
Dahlia.
That would be really interesting. They haven't done an episode about the Black Dahlia killings yet. That would be really interesting.
I mean, that's
Actually,
fair.
have they? I feel like that's something the Eighth Doctor would do. I'll look into it.
All right.
I know they had a companion that was kind of obsessed with it. Anyway, no, Black Orchid.
Oh.
Black Orchid, the next story. Also, fun fact, dear, it's only 2 episodes long.
Yay!
So you're gonna love it.
Woo!
Actually, I do kind of love it because it's like a real classic sort of whodunit type weird mystery, but also Tegan's great in it. Anyway, Black Orchid. And let's have fun with that.
I could do a whodunit in 2 episodes, maybe.
It's like it's not really a whodunit. It's more like it is a mystery, but not like a is it the librarian? Is it the man?
Well, now I'm
the,
already
the
disappointed.
military history. Yeah, well, 2 episodes long. Hold on to that. It's only 2 episodes.
Ooh, hold on. Wait, I just remembered.
It's like every time you're like, I don't know about this, I just dangle the keys in front of you. Like, it's 2 episodes. 2 episodes.
Jingle, jingle. 2 episodes.
Jingle, jingle. Anyway, Black Orchid.
Whee!
See you then.
Bye.